Hi, welcome to the San Gabriel Fire Department. My name is Antonio Negretti, and I'm a fire captain and the public information officer for the City of San Gabriel Fire Department. So today we're at a great facility. We're at the Alhambra Fire Training Center. It's the facility that we are lucky to be able to use, and the local fire departments also do a lot of training here. It's a great facility because we're able to train in some very realistic scenarios, and this facility allows us to do that. At the San Gabriel Fire Department, we place a high value on training. It's something that we do every day. The captains, such as myself, assign it to the crews, whether it's classroom related or ultimately leading up here where we need to do a manipulative exercise, and we can complete it here at this training facility. So today we're simulating a small structure fire and the steps taken by the first engine company to fight that structure fire. There's going to be a little bit of a difference on what various departments do, because what I want to show today is the way our firefighters are able to wrap a hydrant and also go over to the fire engine and extend a hose line from the fire engine. So there's a lot of thought process that goes on between all the spots inside the fire engine, and let's see what the engine company has to say. Okay, so with me now is Captain Eric Kalisher. He is a 17-year veteran of our fire department, and we're lucky to have him here today. Captain Kalisher is going to give us basically a rundown of what his thought process is whenever he gets toned out for a structure fire, whether it's from the station or whether he's out and about, maybe doing some training. So, Cap, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So I know as a captain, anytime I got a call for a structure fire, I immediately had to go to my another frame of mind, on how I'm going to combat this. There's so many factors that go obviously into fighting a structure fire. So what are you thinking when you hear a structure fire get toned out?
Well, the first thing I'm thinking of is what type of structure it is that's on fire. It could be residential, like a single family dwelling. It can be a commercial building. It could be an apartment building. So those are some of the different types of fires we're able to respond to. And I'm also thinking the time of day. Time of day means that if it's at the evening time, we may have a strong likelihood of it being occupied by residents, so rescue would be an option.
Right, that's our main priority, right?
Absolutely.
As a fire department is the the mitigation of life emergencies in essence. So I know theoretically also that due to the way we respond to structure fires, you could be the first engine and ultimately be the incident commander assigning units, right?
That's correct.
So, what tactical priorities are going through your mind when you become the incident commander on a fire until until you're able to pass command to another captain or transfer command to a chief officer?
I think first and foremost is going to be a rescue. Depending on the time of day, depending on the occupancy, rescue is our top priority. We want to get in there and do a primary search, make sure that all the occupants are out and in a safe location. In addition to rescue, I'm also taking into consideration any exposures that may be present adjacent to the involved unit. Taking into consideration the ventilation needs, what type of ventilation needs to be performed, fire attack. We want to make sure that we get hand lines inside the structure as quickly as possible in a safe manner to put out that fire. And in addition to that, we're also taking into consideration salvage and overhaul.
So I'm with engineer John Atkins. He's assigned to Station 52 also. John is a 26-year member of the fire department, and he brings with him a lot of experience as an engineer, which is something that as a captain we are really thankful for when we're responding to a structure fire. So John, one of the things that we're talking about is what your thought process is when you hear the engine get toned out, your engine company, to a structure fire. What starts going through your mind at the station or wherever you happen to be at that time?
So first of all, I listen for the address and try to picture in my mind where we're going, what kind of water supply I have in that area of the city, as well as what units I have following me up. So if I'm in the station or even out in the area, I guess, I'm listening for the type of call, whether it's residential or commercial or that's so I get an idea of what kind of water flow we're going to need when we do get on scene. And then I start thinking about where the hydrants are. In the busier parts of the city, we have more hydrants than in the residential parts of the city, and we also have bigger hydrants, more water. So that's the initial thought. And then after that, I think of how I'm going to get there. It's obviously important for us to get there the fastest we can possible. So the shortest distance between 2 points is the fastest. So
Right.
I try to think about how I'm going to get there and any traffic considerations that I have to think about, and then we go.
That's a good point. One of the questions I get asked a lot whenever we're doing a station tour, we're out doing a demo, is this is a pretty complicated system that people don't realize what the complications are of it. So I know a common question is, well, you just pull one of these things and water comes out the other end, right? It's not as simple as that, right? There's a hydraulic calculation that you as an engineer have to figure out before
Right.
you pull this gate.
Right. No, not at all. This all this does is basically opens up a line, opens up a valve to get water from the pump and the tank that's inside the engine, or if we're hooked up to a hydrant, to the actually water to the pump from the hydrant. And all that does is open up the valve to our hose lines here, which the firefighters are going to be pulling off and using to attack the fire. So in order for those firefighters to get the right amount of water, I have to make a few calculations to determine that one, they're going to get enough water for the fire that's going on, the type of fire that's going on, how big the fire is, how far they are. So basically, what we do is, depending on the type of nozzle, we have a couple different kinds of nozzles. Depending on the kind of nozzle, I'll calculate that kind of nozzle, the friction loss that nozzle makes, as well as the type of hose line, which is, we have a couple different diameter hose lines also, the type of hose line and the length of that hose line. So mainly, we have those calculations. Once I get those calculations in store, I can pull the valve, open the water to the firefighter, and then I just increase the pump. I just increase the power of the pump, which pushes more and more water, more volume at a higher speed to the firefighter to make sure he's getting the right amount of water for that fire.
All right, so now I'm with Jordan Miller. Jordan Miller is one of our firefighter paramedics, and he's been with our department for just about 4 years, but he has a total of 7 years in the fire service. So thanks for being with us today, Jordan. So the questions that we're asking everybody is what the thought process is when they get a report of a structure fire. So I know as a firefighter, you have a lot of responsibility, and there's a lot of things that you need to start thinking about also. One of the things that you might have to do is wrap or catch a hydrant, as we say on the way in. So. But before we go to that, what's your thought process on when you get a call for a reported structure fire?
So when we get a call for reported structure fire in the back, I'm going through a lot of different things in my head. First thing, I want to make sure that my radio is on the right tactical frequency for the fire ground. I'm also listening into radio traffic on our way in. I'm listening to our report on conditions. I'm trying to basically create that mental picture in my head of what we're going to be going into. If it's going to be an aggressive fire attack right away, if it is going to be a rescue operation, all different things that we train on, and it's just creating that situational awareness while we're en route to the call.
Okay, good point. So I know as a firefighter, one of the things that you might be asked to do is to, let's get back to this, to wrap in the hydrant. So what steps are you thinking about? What are your considerations when you're wrapping a hydrant?
Well, first thing, I want to flush the hydrant. I want to flush the hydrant of any debris. All that can get backed up into the engine. I'm also making my connection with my supply line, and at that point I'd be waiting for my engineer to call for water, and once he calls for water, I'm going to then signal back to him that water is coming, and I'm going to charge the line.
One of the commands that you might be given is to go pull an attack line, correct? All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and go over to the transverse bed, or the cross mount as we can also call it, and we can talk a little bit about that. All right, so here we are at the engine with the cross mount, Jordan. Theoretically, and very likely as one of the first engines on scene, you could also be given the command to pull a certain amount of hose from the cross mount, correct?
Correct.
So what are you looking at now when you're pulling a cross mount?
So when I'm pulling a cross mount, I want to know exactly what orders from my captain on how much hose I'm going to pull. Here at San Gabriel, we have 200 feet of 1 3/4 hose on both these cross mounts. So I'm going to know, or I'm going to get my order from my captain, pull the appropriate amount of hose to wherever my drop point is.
And all this time, what a lot of people don't realize, you're wearing your full turnouts, your firefighting gear, right? So how much does physical fitness play into this whole operation?
Physical fitness is very important. As a firefighter, we carry up to 85 pounds of gear. We have to be physically fit to do the job well, not only for us and our own personal health, but for our crew members and for the city that we serve. We have to be physically fit.
I want you to pick the hydrant we're going to lay in.
Ready for water! Water coming!
Fire alarm 385 East Colorado Boulevard, Unit 2.
Running down!
All right, everybody. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to follow the fire department and the city on Facebook and subscribe to the city on YouTube. On behalf of Engine 52, I'm Captain Negretti. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.